We're rolling?
Sound rolling.
How did you say to do it?
Yeah, just...
Loud, tight, together.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Let's take 9, I believe.
All right.
What I'd like to hear tonight is kind of an explanation of the project, the endeavor that you've begun.
Right, of course, of course. Yes, I'd be happy to do that.
Great. Okay. First off, Forvinter, thank you for coming into the studio today.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
I'd like you to tell everyone a little bit of what this is all about.
Do you want me to start now?
Yes? Yes, we're rolling.
Yes, rolling, okay. Okay, so last year I was invited to speak at TAD 2012, and it was brilliant, it was great, I loved it.
Now, I don't think we're here in this room together at all. I want to connect.
Be present. Is that what you're saying? Be in the moment. Because I'm all about that. I'm all about the moment. What moment is this, though?
This TAD conference.
Right, TAD conference. Yes, so that's a much, much longer and more complicated story. But the short version is that it was absolutely brilliant. It was a diverse group of innovative thinkers, females as well.
No.
Chris, I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Sound rolling.
Rolling. Forvinter. I see on the screen behind you.
Yes.
You're in the midst of editing.
Yes, we're quite far along, actually.
Can you tell us a little bit about the project?
Well, you know, this is TAD 2012 that I was invited to speak at last year for a project called The Patch, which is a tactile interface, which is quite flexible for many applications. And so, yes, this is the event and the documentation of it.
Who else spoke at this conference?
Well, we had a fellow named Cam Tarpenter, and I believe that he was a archaeologist of sorts, and he'd fallen into a hole, and he told the story of how he crawled back out, essentially.
Fascinating.
And then there was one who was on about making farms in the city. And at first I thought, there she is, she's talking about farms in the city, but it turns out that she actually hates it. She thinks it's terrible. She hates the idea of farms in the city, finds it repugnant. And then there's another who is, she's sort of like a casino floozy, some sort of woman, who makes, you know, sort of like observations about, you know, I don't know, something with old people, casinos. And then there's one more who is sort of like a new agey, almost like a Cyndi Lauper kind of character who sort of prances around and has a, you know, sort of positive outlook on life. It was really, really something. We all sat around and sort of, actually we never spent a lot of time together, but we...
TAD. It's a design technology conference in Detroit.
Excuse me. Detroit. Yes. I don't know. But what I do know is that something happened. Late last year, I got an email, and it turns out that the TAD story has been misconstrued. We were nauseated to find that someone has been telling the wrong story. They've found us quite amusing, haven't they?
Who's found you amusing?
Well, first, it was something called Onion. And then Microsoft, the computer company, makes a commercial, calls it TAD. And then there's a whole other full-fledged parody called TED, which is quite subtle. But it just mocks everything that we stand for. Do you hear that?
So what would you like people to know about the real TED conference?
Well, first of all, there's only one real TAD conference, right? There's no other TAD conference, the real TAD versus this is the real TAD conference. First of all, what I'd like them to know is that TAD isn't a person. TAD isn't a clown who falls about and acts different and tries to do unusual things on purpose. This is TAD is
Correct me if I'm wrong. TAD is a vision.
yes, it's a vision. You know, it's as if the eye were the TV, and the line goes straight forward to it, right at the end of it. It's gravity. That's the difference between this and some of the commercial or some of the joke that someone's making.
Okay. You're asking people to donate to help finish the TAD documentary.
Yes, that's correct. Exactly. That is exactly what we are doing. That is exactly it. And if by chance people don't donate, well, then there's a whole set of consequences to that as well. You know what I mean?
You speaking about legal ramifications?
No, you know, it's not technically a threat, but I mean consequences that could be just about anything. That could be, you know, action, reaction, laws of physics, karma, that sort of thing.
Okay, that seems relatively clear. We're almost done.
Great.
Is there anything you would like to add?
You know, I sort of. So I mean, what I'd like to say to everyone is that what you're asking? What I should say to everyone or to you? Do I talk to them, or am I talking to you? What would I like to say to them? All right. Look, Barbara, this isn't a game. We cannot compete with these massive media producers. You know, TAD is a grassroots conference. People pulling together and doing something quite naturally, organically. And, you know, we can't fight the giant. How do we fight the giant? With a rock and a sling? No.
No, of course not.
No, of course not. Excuse me. Just a little sip. Thank you. Hold on. Like I've said, this water is just, it's wonderful. It's the best water I've ever had.
It's
I'm asking for them to fight back, help us fight back. They can help you fight back. I can help us fight back. I mean, Let me try that again. Let's try that again.
In this recession, it is hard to find money for artistic endeavors. And you are looking for funding.
That's correct. Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Well, we haven't got enough money. And so what we've decided to do is to ask other people to pay for it.
People with money.
Right, exactly. You know, it's not someone trying to steal your money. It's quite legit. It's serious. It's legit. Dollars, credit card, secure HTTP, definitely right down the middle. There's no virus, nothing. There's no backtracking, no cookies. It's absolutely on the level.
Can you ensure us, the viewer, that this money will go towards the production of the documentary.
Yes, I am insurance. Look at me. I am insurance. But even if I'm not insurance, I promise that every dollar that you part with will go towards funding this dream that we all share to be creative all the time. All the time.
I'd like to thank Vendor for coming on the show today.
Oh, thank you.
He's been here talking about the documentary for the TAD conference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.